There are many people out there who have been so heavily indoctrinated about our economic system, about the fact that we live in a free society and that free markets produce political freedom, that they're more willing to accept the destruction of our species than they are to question capitalism. The idea that you or I do not deserve any more privileges than any other individual, whoever they are and whatever they may have done, that is incompatible with the economic and political and state system that we have in place. When you or I go to vote, we mark a cross and a little box and we go home, and 4 years later we come and do it again. But in that gap, corporations and the many lobbyists which they fund and the think tanks, and also the revolving door between top business and government official positions, that continues. You have two main parties and you can go and decide where to put your cross, but the range is so narrow that it shouldn't be called democracy. It's not a democratic choice. That in general, identities are moulded to serve the interests of those forces that have the power to shape them. But what we need are parties that are willing to question the fundamental economic system which dominates our society. If you're not willing to do that, there's no way you're going to address the crises that our civilization faces. We have a crisis of inequality in which, almost unprecedented in history, we see a tiny group controlling enormous amounts of wealth. The next crisis is a crisis of democracy. Those who control wealth can use it to corrupt democratic processes. And the third crisis is the environmental crisis. And again, that's very much linked to our economic system. Very powerful industries like the fossil fuel industry can put their immediate financial interests before the interests of the whole species, really. The world's governments subsidize the fossil fuel industry to the tune of $10 million a minute. We need a radical politics which isn't afraid to say capitalism is not working. And it's not like we either have all capitalism or no capitalism. It's about reducing its scope. It's about saying we need states to step up and rationally invest money where we need it most. Institutions like the World Bank and the IMF, they have been set up to advance this system, to manage this system. And they will do all they can to prevent democratic decisions to subvert or challenge the system. And we saw that in Greece. And we saw that the will of the people was completely disregarded. And in a sense, they've been punished by international capital for even having the temerity to try to change things. And many people are suffering terribly in Greece as a result. None of this is easy, but nothing valuable is ever won easily. And I think it's really important to take heart from history, to get a sense of the kind of gains that can be made for a freer society by those who are willing to fight for it. An ideal world, for me, would be one in which the struggle for existence, for safety, for the basics of life, no longer dominated our existence. Where we were freed up to develop ourselves intellectually, emotionally, to create with our hands, with our words, with our actions, with other people, things which seem beautiful and valuable, in which the production of people is the focus and lies at the heart of society. Not the production of goods, not the production of profit, but the production of happy, confident, empathetic individuals. Yeah, that would be an ideal outcome.